Martin might walk away with the transfer window as a no-go and leave it to Maloney. A couple of people not agreeing with your Bowie shout, Scott. Thomas says, don't be ridiculous. Bowie's not the answer and he's not worth anywhere near $6.5 million. He says, Bowie, they're not going for Bowie because he's no better than Iheanacho and Kenny. It's about quality. If Kenny was in Hibs 11, he would score as much. I would definitely take issue with that. Paul says, I've never been as scunnered with Celtic as I am at this time. Nicholson and his cohorts have a complete inability to get deals over the line. It's beyond a joke. Now, their incompetence. Scotland the Brave says Celtic will put a loan offer in for an unknown and bid for I always struggle to say his name, Maswanhise. And give it the old, we were close, watch this space. It's beyond a joke. They're beating themselves. Chris, though, says Maswanhise will be in the door by Wednesday, medical booked. I think that might be wishful thinking. But, Celtic fans, you said it's beyond the joke. It's not even...
But hold on, Dan. See, even if that was correct, see, even if who's Chris has got an insider that's involved in the deal and knows this to be totally true, right? That's fine. I'm prepared to go on that just for the sake of the argument here. If that's correct and Maswanhise pitches up at Celtic Park next week, why? Why is it taking all this time, 3 weeks into the transfer window to get that deal done? A deal that's right in front of you, a deal that's in your face, a deal that should be the easiest thing to do and should have been lined up, if that's the case, on the 1st of January. Celtic, unless somebody in that boardroom isn't paying attention, Celtic are in the middle of a dogfight for this season's title. And they need all the help they can get, and they needed it 3 weeks ago. Now, Martin O'Neill continues to churn out one after the next. But his ability to do that and to squeeze every last ounce at what he's got is keeping Celtic in contention. And he's already had to do it once this season. And when he left, everything looked pretty good. He'd got them back onto Hearts' coattails at the top of the league. He'd knocked Rangers out of the League Cup semi-final to present Wilfred Nancy with 90 minutes away from the first silverware of the season. And he went to Feyenoord and turned them over to fire new life into Celtic's hopes in the Europa League. He then turns his back for 5 minutes. Wilfred Nancy takes a wrecking ball at it all, and here he is again. And he's having to build it up from the bottom again, and nobody's giving him help. So if Maswanhise is the guy that Celtic think would help, why was he not done 3 weeks ago? There is no... Celtic have got the money. Motherwell are just, unfortunately for them, in the situation, if they can make a real good profit, they have to do the deal. So why was it not done? Why are we waiting now? Why is it next week?
Jacko, if clubs are doing their jobs properly, the top clubs in Scotland, and at the moment I mean Celtic, Rangers and Hearts, they should have scouting reports on Tawanda Maswanhise on their desk already for this season. If a guy... How
many scouting reports do you need, Scott? The guy's been turning it on week in, week out against the same opposition that he would be playing against in a Celtic shirt. Exactly. It's a no-brainer.
If a guy at Motherwell scoring that amount of goals and performing that well, knowing he's getting a lot of plaudits, a lot of coverage, it would just be a basic. I don't doubt for a minute that Rangers will have scouting reports on Maswanhise already. They've got to have. I don't doubt for a minute Maswanhise will have been flagged up by Tony Bloom's Jamestown. Now, because of the nuances of Jamestown, maybe he's flagging up on it and he's no somebody that Hearts would go for. We know that Jamestown are obviously very, very specific on data, but he's definitely a name that will be known to them. He has to be. So even Celtic, listen, if Martin O'Neill or Matt Fadinger wanted to go and have a look at him in the flesh the other week, then fair enough. I can get that. You want to see players with your own eyes, but he's not just turned up in Scottish football. He's been here a while. He's been scoring goals for a while. They must know about him. So as Keith says, there are absolutely no excuse. If you think he's the guy that can make you better, and I'm not even talking about him as Celtic's main striker, no, the main replacement.
But just an option.
Just an option for them to come in and give them a different dimension up front. A guy that can play right across the front line, either side or through the middle. It should have been done, but that should have just been the simplest deal to do. And that's with all due respect to Motherwell, he's got a contract. for another couple of years. I think they're well within their rights to try and get as much money as they can for them. But Celtic in their current predicament and with the finances they've got behind them, that should be an easy deal for them to do if they want to do it.
Do you know what?
That's a belt and braces deal, Scott, isn't it? That's just, do you know what? We know we've got work to do. Can we get that one done? Let's get that one done. And at least, right, well, it increases our firepower and immediately for the short term. And then he might well, if he continues to star for Celtic the way he has been for Motherwell, then he might well become a regular starter. But in the meantime, while we're looking and assessing the other options for January, just get that one done. Get him in.
If nothing else, it gives the fans a lift.
Yeah,
it gives them a wee. They're crying out for somebody, just crying out for a new face. You heard them at Rugby Park. I mean, when have you ever heard that at a Celtic game or any game? Fans actually singing, "Sign a player, sign a player." I mean, absolutely
any player.
Just desperate, just to get anything. Pleading with the board, just going to do something, going to get somebody in for us to out about, just to give us a bit of optimism, a bit of hope, a bit of confidence that we can go and win this title. And yet the board they don't seem to be listening.
I wonder...
And again, Scott, it comes back to what you. Sorry, Dan. Last point from me on this. It comes back to what Scott said. Martin O'Neill is being failed by the people that he is trying to bail out here, and I think that is disrespectful. And I wouldn't, if I was them, honestly, I just said about poking him in the ribs with a stick. Don't keep doing it, Celtic. Because this guy right now is your only chance of rescuing something from this season. What he's managed to do in terms of his win rate, which is like 100% domestically over the two stints, it's extraordinary, given what he's working with. And the very people that he's trying to bail out, that he's trying to protect, their reputations, they're leaving him in this situation carrying a water pistol in a gunfight. It's extraordinary, and it cannot continue. And if it gets to the end of this month and Martin O'Neill feels that not enough effort was made to back him, I wonder what happens.
And that's the thing. Sorry, Daniel. I'm convinced that Celtic will get players in. I mean, they have to. They have to get.
I thought that in the summer, Scott. I said exactly that.
I think they have to get players in, but the problem is you see, we're now at the 19th of January. The longer it goes in the window, who are the players that they get? What's the standard of players they're getting? What's the fees they're going to need to pay? What are the circumstances with those players? We all know it might take every club. There's normally one or two that might go to the wire at the end of the window, and you might need to hold on for guys you really want. But there are no excuses in Celtic's current predicament for no getting a couple of guys in early. You look at what Rangers have done, getting the 3 guys in, sharpish, and I don't doubt Rangers will probably leave it till later on in the window because they'll have their eye on 1 or 2 that they might need to hold on for. But at least they've got some business done early. Hearts have done the same. So the longer it goes, as I say, I don't doubt they'll get people in, but I would question the standard of those players that they're going to get in by leaving it so late if they're going to add 2, 3, 4 at the death.
Well, also, as I said there, sorry, Dan, as I said, Scott, at what point didn't somebody be like, oh, look, are you looking at our fixture schedule? Oh, Hearts at Tynecastle. Could do with beefing up ahead of that. It's 5 days away.
But you're talking about the same people that appointed Wilfred Nancy when his first 3 games was Hearts Cup final, and what was the other games at an Old Firm? Hearts Cup final, and then with another big game, didn't it?
Roma.
Roma and the Europa.
And then Dundee United away.
They clearly don't. They're not that bothered about fixtures or time issues. They just do it at their own pace.